StreamYard. There we are.
Yo,
Ta-da.
we
Now
came back.
we are.
Well, we're going to start over. I'm glad somebody was telling me, because I've been talking here for 3 minutes and finally got on the air. Welcome to Survivor's Circle for March 22nd, 2022. It's springtime. Springtime is usually a good time of year for me. The last couple have been a little bit troublesome, but this year I'm looking forward to it. Feels like it's been a really, really long winter, and hopefully the COVID thing is on the wane, and we are well on our way back to something a bit closer to normal. Nothing's guaranteed at this point, but I have great faith, because by the way, I'm going to make every effort to have a better year, even if things go downhill from this point, because it's my life, and I'm going to enjoy it.
And it's now or never. It's a Bon Jovi song.
Absolutely. Always good time for Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah.
So Bon Jovi, good.
It's my life,
What
and
is
it's now
that?
or never.
What's the translation of that in French? Oh, it's good. Bon is good. I'll have
You're
have
gonna
look
make
that
me
up.
Google something? My goodness.
J-O, and it could be good joy. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, come on, Google Translate.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to turn my mic off.
Where's Yuffie when we need her?
I know, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's so many.
Ooh.
That's something.
Translation of Bon Jovi in English. Well, that's not what I wanted. Thank you very much. Damn wind.
That's not wind. That's a breeze. That's a
Oh, you
Kentucky.
wait. It's supposed to get Bon means good. Bon Jovi means good. Have a good weekend.
Well, hell. See there?
It's a party. It's always a party. Just telling you.
Always a party. So anyway, spring is an interesting. See, it's the equinox. That's when the daytime and the nighttime are each 12 hours. And it's the time when the track of the sun between summer and winter are at the midpoint. So basically the equator, the plane of the equator is pointing directly at the sun. So the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are both getting equivalent coverage from the sunshine. So I think really I would think that being a biased northern hemisphere dweller, that midsummer would be the equal point, but because that's when the sun's the highest over our head. But if you were one of those privileged people that live on the equator, now's the good time. So welcome to the world. I always enjoyed the trying to visualize all those movements and motions. I had a long conversation with Ron about the motion of the earth and the moon around the sun, and it was I actually confused myself. So I need one of those little things. I think it's called an Ori. They're a little like a mechanical doohickey that has the planets on it, and you just crank the little thing, and the planets go around. Should get one of those. I should make one of those. Yeah, that would be good. Or an electronic facsimile thereof, or something.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. I could probably download that from somewhere. So, but spring is always, like you said, it's always been an optimistic time for me.
Right.
But like the last couple, 2 years ago was the first beginnings of the pandemic, and last year, a lot of people, me included, thought, we made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kept right on going. So this year, I'm not waiting for this bus to show up. I'm going to start walking.
Well, and I'll tell you too, I also noticed that in my Facebook memories, which a lot of people do that. They just post stuff so it'll pop up in their memories. But yesterday was 2 years ago that little white kitten was dropped off on me. And what made me think of that was the COVID thing had just, and the media.
Oh my God, they might be carrying the plague.
They were dropping them left and right. Of course.
Yep.
Oh crap! It's raining. I hope y'all can't hear all this. If it's too much noise, I'll mute my mic when I'm on. Okay. But anyways, yeah. So that was during the beginning of all that COVID stuff, and they had actually just started building the house that I'm in right now at that time.
Oh my!
They'd already done the dirt work, and I think they had put the concrete slab. So it was an exciting time for me.
A busy. Well, you still had your cattle then, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So you were a really busy person just then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, I can remember the contractor saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, can you put up a fence around where we're going to build so the cows don't get in it?" And I'm like, because he said, "We're going to come lay concrete in 2 days." And I'm like, "You're giving me 2 days to put up a fence around an acre and a half."
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Nope. No problem. I'll just call in the crew and have them take care of that.
Yeah. I got it done though.
Oh my God.
I got it done.
You're just freaking amazing.
Well, I cheated. That helped.
Nothing wrong with cheating under the proper circumstances.
I got one of those solar powered electric fences.
Yeah.
And I put that on a fence post, and I got one strand of wire.
Yeah.
And I put it around exactly where I didn't want the cows to come in.
Cows are smart. They won't hit those twice.
Well, the funny part is I wanted to make sure it worked.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I called my neighbor and I said, I called my neighbor that was over there at the time, and I was like, "Benji, I've just put up this electric fence."
I think as a kid, I was used as a test subject for that. Hey, is that thing working? Go over there and grab it.
But I didn't have any kids around, or I'd have done it.
Yeah.
I would have done that. But yeah, I called him. I said, "I need to know if this fence is working. Will you come touch it?" He just so happened to have one of those little pocket ohm meter things.
Okay.
But I will let you know.
We used to do it with a blade of grass. You would lay a blade of grass on it, and it would cut down the amount of current. Now, see, we made it into a game.
Yeah.
We'd have two people do that with the blades of grass, and the challenge was to see who could get the closest.
Right.
Before they gave up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. I mean, that's a rite of passage.
Absolutely.
For country kids. For boys. For boys. Not for girls.
I don't know. We had some girls hanging out in that.
Yeah, but around here, it was like you pee on that fence.
Oh,
girls couldn't do that.
No, that was not that. Well, look, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it never happened to me.
Right. Right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Exactly.
I heard stories about that. Well before it was ever I ever was offered that challenge. No.
Well, I will tell you in my case, the fence that I had to put up, I had to make like a gate, just the spring gate.
Yep.
And I got tired of unhooking it and hooking it every time I walked back and forth to go feed the cattle and everything else. So I stepped over it one day. I didn't clear it. It works.
That's terrible. That is, I wish I had been able. I do so wish there was video of that.
I cussed a little,
but
just a little.
Yes, but I'm so sorry that you had to get that.
It was funny though. I mean, I laughed and I was cussing. I was like, "Damn it!"
Yes. I know. that is. If we can laugh at ourselves when we do something that we know, that we look and say, that was really not worth it. That was not what I had in mind.
Yeah, but it was. I think it was one of those situations where I had already unhooked it like 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
4-wheeler in, 4-wheeler out,
mm-hmm.
vehicle in, vehicle out, and I was just like, I don't know what I was carrying something. I'm like, I'm not setting this down.
Your hands are full.
Unhook it. I'm gonna crawl over it and.
I can. Yeah, it's only this high. I can do that. Yeah.
Well, I could in certain areas, but not that one. That one was a no-go.
Yeah. I have a flash memory of hopping over something like that. I don't think it was it might have been barbed wire. It probably was barbed wire, but not electrified. Yeah, and I remember going home with my trousers terribly shredded. Fortunately, my body wasn't, but it just caught my pants. You know, I almost cleared it, just that much. You know.
Yeah. If I was just that much taller,
or that much, yeah. I just, I brushed the bar on the way over. I did not clear the hurdle entirely.
Yeah.
What we got? Andy's in. Andy's here today.
Andy's even here today.
All kinds of today.
I changed my name to Bubbles, and everybody shows up.
Andy will be working on some graphics to tell that story that we do not want to know.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's even that's even better. It's all up to his creative mind.
Yes, this is true.
And we know how creative he can be.
Yeah, that kind of scares me. Oh, well, look, there's Marco's here.
Oh my, the whole bunch.
Yeah. So we better come up with something.
There are one of these days I'm going to remember in time, or I'm going to point it out to her, that to ex-lady Kath.
Yeah,
we used to spend so much time together in the
she's wonderful.
Room, and she is actually, I drove. This was pre-COVID. She's only an hour and a half away from me, and my son and I were headed over that way, working on a project, and I called her and we set up and we had dinner with them, with her and her husband, and they're just wonderful. She's she's just wonderful people, and I would love to have
Yes,
her on.
she is.
Yes.
Yeah, we
So,
really would. She would be awesome. And we
yep.
might actually get to see what she looks like.
Oh,
Doubt it.
I'll share some of my pictures privately.
You've done that. Thank you. You and
I have,
Andy. I get those. Yes.
oh, okay.
I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm
Not
just
not
kidding.
not those pictures.
Oh,
I don't want what Andy shares.
nobody else needs to see. Just
you don't
saying.
you don't need to share those with me.
No, with nobody. Nobody. Always get the stay calm and send nudes. Or the bend over coffee cup with the alien on it.
And I'm out of coffee. Oh, we have
Look, listen, look at this. Look.
Yes, she has an elevated single wide.
Yep. I'm facing this direction because the wind's coming from that way, and I kind of thinking it's gonna.
Yeah, it's on stilts. It's like a big.
Well, you know,
it's on the lowlands of Kentucky. Just make sure the water's not too deep when you go down the stairs.
that's right. Exactly right. Feels like it sometimes. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially this time of year. You've had far more than your share of rain this year, I think.
Well, and see where I live too. Our topsoil is basically clay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it doesn't drain very well. It will about June.
Oh,
It's awful.
So you're still picking up pieces of debris from the tornadoes in December, right?
Yeah. I come home yesterday. It was really nice, and I jumped out of the truck and I started picking up the styrofoam and the insulation and all that stuff around here. And I got a lot of sticks and stuff out of the yard, and because I'm awful. I'm not Andy. Damn it! I'm on air. Quit sending me shit in Skype. But anyways, yeah, it's still a cleanup effort around here. You come home and people are still burning debris and stuff because here we can. It's not against the law, and they're not burning insulation and things like that.
In Bowling Green.
Say that again.
That in town where it got hit.
It's awful. I drove down a street one time. It had been closed off forever, but it was a regular route that you can avoid the main road.
Right.
And I go through there, and you can just see the progression of the damage, and the trees are gone. And these are trees that have been there for 100 years, and they're gone, and the houses are gone, and they're still, it seemed like for 24/7, they were running, double trailers that they would fill debris up with, running back and forth. And it's still going on, and that was in December.
Yeah.
So around here, my area, the trees are. There's still silos that are destroyed that haven't been fixed. Mm-hmm. Of course, they won't be. Those will have to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Barns still have roof damage, which I'm part of it, maybe not all of it. So at least half of it's covered, so they're okay. I think one of the things, of course, when I drive to work every day, there's cattle. Mm-hmm. There's either it's crops or it's cattle.
Right.
So the crops don't have the fence, and then you go through there, and then the fence where the cattle was. And I think one of the most heartbreaking things for me is that I went through there one morning to work. Well, actually, that happened on a weekend. So that next Monday, the fence was gone. where the cattle was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, where's the cattle? What happened? What happened to the cattle?
Yeah.
Were they wiped out? But and that's stuff you don't think about.
Sure, absolutely.
There were, I mean, and there were cattle out in the field and stuff, and I don't know if they were hurt or I don't know if they were killed or anything like that. But it's like,
well, a lot of places, even if they had been put in the barns, that's
the barn got wiped out.
That wasn't a safety.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and kind of trying to get a cow into the barn without feed is like trying to baptize a cat. It just, it's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, your cattle's out in the field and they don't care there's a tornado coming. They don't know what it is. It's rain and wind, and they stand in it all the time. So, but yeah. Anyways,
back to bright and cheery subjects.
Yeah, it's springtime. Yes. I got a kitty cat in my lap.
That's always good. I got the dogs locked. I get the dogs locked out for right now.
But anyways, yeah, herding a bunch of cats. You're exactly right. Right. But yeah, no. So it's we had a pretty decent, pleasant conversation yesterday, and both of us have talked about we're going to totally avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about it tonight. But I don't know. We got some good stuff out of that. We got, to me, we got some good stuff, like the realization that if you realize your shortcomings,
yes,
and you can figure out how to change it.
Yes, I mean, with anything, that's the first step. The first step is to change the thing you can. God grant us the serenity, or is that what it is? Yes. to change the things we can, and the wisdom to understand that the first of those things is me. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that's I think that's true with anything. Until you're willing to change, you can't change the world. You change your biased way of looking at the world, and that makes the world better. You know, you can change yourself. You can take these off and put on the rose-colored glasses, and whatever. But you're a happier person. You're more capable. Even if you're deceiving yourself, even if you're forcing yourself to say, "I feel great. I feel fine. I'm good. I'm good." Eventually, you talk yourself into it, or at least that's because I can remember when I was in school, in grade school, I could sure as hell think myself sick.
Always, it was easy.
I don't want to do that, so I'm not feeling very good, And before I knew it, I was sick. I said, "Oh my God," So the mind controls things. And thank you, Genghis.
That's about the truth.
Yep. And and particularly, I think we were talking about or relationships with other people, and it all boils down to communication, and to keep the lines of communication open, or things get twisted, things get embedded in other things to the point where it's very difficult to stand back and be objective to yourself, or particularly if there are two or more people involved, for any of those parties to be truly objective. and that's being objective is the way that you find a path to untangle the situation so that it can be resolved.
Right.
So that is why, and that's a learning process. I had the it was suggested to me by my doctor that you really ought to go talk to a therapist. And I thought, yeah, right. I got this shit down. I know all that stuff. I've been reading that stuff for 20 years. And then I found the difference between thinking about it and talking about it and actually doing the work, as it's often called. And that's different. To actually internalize it and to try to make it a part of your everyday existence is much harder than reading it out of the back of the book. You can't just go from where you are to where you want to be. You have to trudge along that rocky path every step of the way in order to get there. And I think, particularly fortunate to get hooked up to a therapist that was worked really well for me. Okay. A lot of times that doesn't happen, and you have to keep trying. And I gained a lot of really good insights from that, and I try to incorporate them into my life, and that's made me I think it's made me a better person. It's certainly made me a more forgiving person. It's made me a more I've become more accepting of my own, not only inabilities, but my abilities too.
I got a question in chat.
3 cars, and at least and a whole bunch of other stuff. All the good stuff. Cars and toolboxes and garages.
Has nothing to do with the dungeon or the prison you've got out back.
I don't have the one that's the key to Maria's heart.
Oh, was that not sweet? You are a Casanova. I could totally see this with you younger days. Yes,
yes. Yeah. I'll tell you about those days one day. No. Privately.
Very privately, yeah.
Yes. So, it's it's a process, and it is, and we've all got to do it. No one there aren't any perfect people, or certainly none that I've met. And our imperfections are often a good sign of our humanity, and the ability to accept that we're not God's walking the earth and perfect people. I think that's something that we need to accept in ourselves. And God, we don't do this shit by ourselves. We need other people.
We try to.
Men are particularly susceptible to that thing because we're taught, you've got to toughen up and shut up and soldier on and get through it. Just keep pushing, and it has an effect on us as a group. What, men live like 10 years less than women, and I think that is a big piece of it. Is that stress, that ability to, or that tendency to ignore just plain old reality.
That's
And
true.
be was it the Spartans? Yes, be a Spartan.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. It ain't like in the real world. The real Spartan world was nothing like the movies.
Put on a good game, though. That's for sure.
Oh God,
But you're talking about the
there's Yuffie. Yuffie made it.
Oofy
Hey,
made it. This is true. Aw,
mm,
y'all stop. It's just a light bulb. It's just the lighting. It gets worse as it gets closer. You get to see the wrinkles. It's okay.
uh,
Yes, yes, Andy. Yes. Yes, that's between you and Hale. You all come up with that shit. Just say.
so,
Between Morrow and Hale.
yep.
What do you do? Just saying. You
So,
just kind of live along with it. You were talking about men are supposed to just toughen up, deal with it, and stuff like that.
yes, yes.
That's kind of the truth of it. But there ain't a person out there that wants to see a crying woman.
Oh, men are terrified by that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
serious,
don't want to see that.
serious, because that's that strikes. I'm going to say most men. It just rips your fucking heart out. Okay, it's like okay,
True.
a
Unless she's pissed off, and then you better run.
or a child for
Yes.
both
Oh my
sexes
Lord. Mm-hmm.
to see a crying child that you can do nothing to assuage that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking.
Yes.
It is heartbreaking.
Yes. It
Uh,
really is. And there's nothing you can do. And
yeah.
and the same thing goes, and people don't
Thank goodness
believe
that we
it.
are that way. Thank goodness that we are
Oh
almost
yeah.
all that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a, there are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
God love them.
Right.
There are nurses. There are paramedics. There are policemen who
Mm-hmm.
go into situations where that of such horror
Right.
that I don't know what on nurses. I don't know what the loss rate is once they actually get into practice, but it's probably pretty high. It's probably at least a quarter. I would say just from my own knowledge and experience, they say I can't do this shit, and I think that's it. I think it's an empathetic reaction.
Yes.
If you can't do that. My
Mm-hmm.
my niece started out as a paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
She did shootings.
Mm-hmm.
She responded to shootings. She responded to auto accidents,
Right.
and she just kept going.
Mm-hmm. And
And
you do.
how the hell do you stand that?
Because at
And
that time it's just a job.
yes, yes,
Mm-hmm. And if you don't do your job, then a person loses their life
absolutely. Well,
or is maimed or whatever.
I've been in accident situations,
Mm-hmm.
and I could always respond and do the right thing just by shutting down. Okay,
Yes. 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 Yes.
and you get it. You shut down.
Mm-hmm.
You get the job done, and then usually some hours later, you say,
Right.
"Holy fuck!"
What the hell just happened? Yeah, I
Yes,
get that. Mhm,
yes.
totally,
So,
totally. Well, I tell you what, I've got to step away for just a moment. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but I will be right back. Can you
oh,
continue without me? Will you be
I will
okay
do the
without
best I
me?
can. I'll try to keep some noise happening so people won't just run
Okay.
away.
And y'all can look at Amanda while I'm gone.
Yes, we never did figure out why that's doing that. I guess we'll it's one of those electronic mysteries that we just haven't been able to figure out. Okay, so it's gosh, while Maria's gone, perhaps I should talk about the news and politics. How are things going in Ukraine today? I haven't looked. And then there's the current nomination questioning of the new Supreme Court nominee. After, I've watched so many of those that after a while it just becomes such it's a total waste of time. It really is a total waste of time. The partisanship on both sides is so obvious, especially at least for the pub. Believe me, there are negotiations being done in private, and deals being made. And thank goodness, because the public show is just unconscionable on both sides. It is so intensely biased that it's shameful. It really is. So there, see, I got some politics thrown in.
Oh, thank God I was gone. We're done.
I talked about news and politics.
That's it. We're done.
Hey, is anybody watching the news to the point? Wasn't there supposed to be a launch today? Last I heard, the STS missile, new space rocket from Boeing. Boeing? Yeah, Boeing.
I haven't heard about it.
Oh my goodness! Well, they've spent $6 billion putting it all together over the last 10 years. But
yet we're out of money for COVID testing. No more. We're not talking no more about that. We're done. You sent me that article.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. It's just I thought I heard this. I thought I heard that once before. No more testing. We'll have no more testing. Just it must be done. Must be finished.
Yes, Justin, I totally agree. Everybody could.
I hope they
actually I shit better than he does too.
So have a big delay. After their resounding success with the Webb Space Telescope. I really had no faith. I think for those of you who watch Mark and Amanda and Daryl didn't have a great deal of faith in the Webb being successful either. I'm glad that it has so far been successful. It's like it's one of those. It's so damn complicated, and any one tiny aspect of it that didn't work perfectly, it was gone. It was worthless. And they did a remarkable job. They did an absolutely bang up, perfect, remarkable job.
Marco's not my favorite.
Oh my goodness. What was that? Was that the Weekend at Bernie where they dragged
at Bernie's?
They dragged the dead guy around for
days.
Okay. Didn't they do Didn't they do a
remake?
Yeah, not a remake.
Or Bernie's at 2, or I don't know. You just that's like Hangover 2. You just don't watch it.
Yeah.
You just can't get any better than the first one.
So often that is the case. Well, so often that's the case with remakes, reboots too.
Yeah.
There are very few reboots that are as good as the original. I'm thinking about the oh gosh, Claytu Narada Dictu. Yeah. Claytu Ferrado Nictu.
Okay, so Andy's going to have a ball with that one because that just kind of sounds like you're a dick too to me. That's all I heard. I heard that.
What was the movie? The spaceman landed in
Anchorman 2 was better than 1. You're right. Anchorman 2 sounds like that title you're trying to listen to.
Let me trying to think. Star Wars 2 was better than Star Wars 1.
Okay, now wait a minute. You're going to have to clarify. Star Wars 1 or 2 for us?
That would have been 4.
Okay.
That would have been 3, which came before 4. 4 was the better of the 2.
So the new math is what you're telling me.
Oh, God. That's why movies suck now. They're using new math to program them. I saw a.
That was my incense that I'm burning. I had the question, is this?
Ooh.
Because I hate the way this stuff smells. So I'm burning it all at once and to get rid of this shit.
Oh my God.
I hate the way that smells.
Outside.
Outside. You're right. Outside. I don't want to waste it. I paid money for it, so I'm not going to be wasteful. But yeah, I can't stand that stuff. You ought to see all the incense I got. And I feel I bought a value pack, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
Good God, I won't have to buy any incense for the rest of the summer.
AJ's? Are these all from AJ's or mostly from AJ's?
I wish I had have got them from AJ's.
Oh.
Okay. My biggest thing with her right now is the Sacred Raven bath salts that she does.
Okay.
Man, she's got them for everything. And they're wonderful.
I should try. I'm.
You can even soak your feet in them.
I'm getting old and achy.
Well,
I need some of that healing stuff.
You do. Oh my gosh, this stuff is awesome. I mean, and it even goes along with the phases of the moon and the time of year, everything. So, I mean, her bath salts are wonderful, and her candles are awesome too. But I forgot my login to her website again, and I was a little embarrassed to ask her to do something for me again. So I went to Amazon and got my incense sticks. AJ, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But yeah, the Sacred Raven bath salts. If you're too big to get in a tub or you don't want to get in a tub, you can soak your feet in them. It's wonderful stuff. But you got to be weird like me, so. Charles is weird like me. We have some of the weird.
That is one of my greatest
bath salts.
One of my greatest.
Look at this shit that Justin just asked.
Pleasures is to just relax and lie back in the tub with as much heat as I can stand. You know?
Perfect. My skin is like.
Just wait.
My skin temperature is just this far from being blistered by the time I get out of the tub or a shower. I mean, I got to do it.
Oh my, yes.
That's as good. Yes, you are correct.
I found that the first time I really appreciated that was one of my ski trips.
Oh, yeah.
A hot jacuzzi after a day on the ski and I got up the next day. I wasn't sore, and I should have been, but I got in a tub and was in there for like half an hour or more, and it was so hot I could barely stand it. and the sun was falling on my hair. I had hair back then.
You had hair back then? Was that Gallagher hair that had the hair attached to the bottom?
Absolutely awesome. But like I said, I got out on the slopes the next day, and I felt great. And like I said, this was on vacation, and
you were a lot younger then too.
I was young. Well, yeah, there's that.
That kind of has something to do with it.
Well, there's that. But even then, I was going from skiing in Western New York where I had a 600-foot drop, to skiing in the Rockies where it was like 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet from the peak down. It was entirely different. Just the greatest thing in the world, really, to a skier. But it was a lot more physical.
Oh different. Yeah.
So it was, yeah. You learn.
Well, sometimes we do.
Remember to take good advice.
You usually remember to take good advice after you didn't take it and you really fucked up.
Yes, absolutely.
That's when you're like, man, I should have done that.
Yep. Oh, I've failed to take good advice quite often too.
Yeah. Well, we all kind of do.
You should never mix those.
No. Yeah. Gasoline and fertilizer, is that what you're talking about? A few household chemicals?
That's one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't tell the ingredients to make a bomb online, but you can. Never mind. Anyway. So, good advice. And if you think about it, think about some of the times that you've received advice from somebody and you didn't take it, but your gut was telling you the exact same thing, that the advice was being handed and you didn't listen.
Is that hubris? Say, I know better than that. I can just do it. I can do it the hard way.
I can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like the universe says no. Your gut says no. All your friends say no. Your ego says no. And then you're all like, hold my beer. Watch this. And you do it anyway. So why do we do that when everything inside you is saying, it's like the first instinct, and we've all heard this, the first instinct that you have is what you should go by. But we don't all the time because there's something over here going, nah.
I don't know.
That's just your mind messing with you.
There's a feeling of like euphoric accomplishment when you actually pull it off.
But do you pay attention to it?
The first thing that came to mind was diving off a bridge.
Oh, let's see. Your gut said don't do it. And he's like, what the hell?
Everything said no. But
that's different.
But I did it.
You did,
and I didn't do it again that day.
That day,
I was kind of proud of myself that I did it. Okay, or maybe it was once I got up there, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to take the.
You didn't want to be a pussy. Is that what you're trying to say, Charles?
I didn't want to be a pussy. But I was.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but we kind of do it. But I don't know, but still, something wasn't pulling at you hard enough at that time to get you out of it.
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying, though. But it's
like I said, there's it's a learning It's a learning experience.
There you go, Charles.
You know, it's a learning experience. Yes. Someone failed to risk it. Oh, absolutely.
I think we all did.
Several times.
Several times. But yeah, you know, and we do that with real life experience. I mean, silly stuff like that. You know, it was like, don't do it. And there's a list of everything, your ancestors and everything's like, just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you do it anyway because something in the back of your head was like, yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. It's that evil voice talking to you. So, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but and you do and then but we just do that. We ignore. Now there's sometimes I don't. So, okay, I'll have to give you an example of when I do and when I don't.
Okay.
Paranormal wise, whenever I'm dealing with something paranormal, whatever my first instinct is, I jump on that because that came to me for a reason.
Oh, yeah, you have to then.
Now I do that.
Because that is not just your safety, that's the part that listening to that inner self is so essential to that activity.
Yes.
That it's tuned in.
Yes.
Not to be ignored.
Right.
Okay.
So you have that same thing that happens in real life, and you ignore it. Why? I don't understand.
You're not tuned into that side of yourself.
And you should be.
You know?
If you're tuned in.
It's like a noise, you know, a constant noise or something that you are accustomed to hearing. You tune it out to where you don't actually hear it anymore.
Right.
I think that's the kind of, but if you're listening, you know, if you're listening for it, if you're paying attention to that sense, just like you're paying attention to the paranormal sense or your inner sense, if you're listening to it, you can hear it. But if you're not listening to it, if you have other things that are taking precedence, that's what, you know, that's where we go wrong sometimes.
You know, I guess so. And I guess that's why a lot of us are on medication.
We turn a deaf ear to our inner selves. Yes. I think that's true. I think that's true. You know, we were talking about medications too. You know,
yeah, we talked about that.
People need those. Been there, done that. But the thing that, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or any of that stuff. Right. But I'm going to tell you about my experience. Those drugs are a crutch. If you have a broken leg, you put the cast on and you use the crutch, but those don't necessarily, in the case of psych meds, they don't fix the problem. The work, you have to do the work to fix the problem. You have to identify the problem, you have to accept the problem, and you have to work through it. And that's not easy, but that is what is necessary in order to get it done. And then you can put the drugs back, send the drugs back to the pharmacy, and you can learn to get through it. But unless you solve the problem, and sometimes it's not easy to solve the problem, but it can be done. But you have to remember that's, you know, the pill doesn't fix the problem. It's a crutch. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory sense. It is a necessary crutch. If you have a broken leg, you need a crutch. But it's not the ultimate solution to the problem. You have to do the work.
But you know, you and I had talked about the depression back in the 80s. Yeah. And I'm not talking about when the stock market crashed. when they started diagnosing people with depression.
More.
And their explanation of it was
it's a
chemical imbalance.
Right. It's a serotonin problem, whatever. Yeah. So dopamine, serotonin imbalance, all that stuff that they were making it fucking up because they had no clinical chemical results of. They didn't even know how it worked then.
Right.
They don't know how it works. They don't know in a complete gestalt. They don't know how it works now.
Right.
They know that this seems
to work.
This seems to help. Just use this. But to integrate that healing, use the crutch, but integrate. It's the integration of the mind, the body, the spirit. All that stuff has to go together. And you have to get rid of the conflicts.
Right. But but we don't do that. We want a pill for everything. We want a pill to fix everything. And then I'll tell you too, there's a lot of people that go to therapy, and I get it. I see it. I know it.
Therapy, a lot of, this is, in my experience, a lot of people go to therapy and they think it's the therapist's job to fix them. It's not. The therapy that they can show you the path, but you still have to walk it.
Sure, that's exactly right. But a lot of people don't go to therapy simply because I'm going to talk about this to somebody I don't even know. What the hell is that going to do for me?
Well,
where's this going to go? What's it going to do? I mean, what's the point?
The point?
I can write it down, a message in a bottle, and pitch it in the ocean and get just as much out of it as going to therapy.
Maybe.
That's just what a lot of people think.
And look, I am not saying that doesn't work. Write it on a piece of paper, take it out in the backyard and put it in the burn barrel. Send it to the sky. Send it to the sky. People have been doing that for thousands of years.
That's right.
There's a reason for that. It kind of works because in order to put it down on paper, you have to really think about it.
Yeah.
You have to parse it. You have to break it down in such a way as to really look at it from another mindset. Okay. You have to look at it in order to write it down, you have to look at it from outside yourself. You're using another part of your mental inventory to assay it. Okay. And that's
I've done that before.
That's the worst part of that's the worst part of therapy is trying to get something inside yourself out in a fashion that someone else can understand. By doing that, you have to examine yourself. You have to, you have to look in the mirror before you can tell someone else what you're feeling. You have to, you have to actually examine the feelings inside yourself in order to express them to someone else. Whether you express that on a piece of paper that no one will ever read or to another person, doesn't matter. It's the same. It's the same thing to you, and it's not an easy self-examination is not an easy process.
No, you're right. It's not.
Sometimes if you have someone else
Mm-hmm.
who has some understand, not they don't even have to understand you. They don't even
Mm-hmm.
have to understand what's going on with you. They have to have experienced similar things and have different ways to to put those different tricks to get those things internalized so that you can put them to use in your life. I don't know. I'm working on it. if I had another 50 years, maybe I'd get it figured out. But that's okay.
Well, okay. So here we go. I'm bringing up yesterday. You listen to me just talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's stuff I've never really told anybody. I've never really talked about it before
Mm-hmm.
to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and there actually wasn't bourbon involved or beer or anything yesterday.
No.
This was
Yeah.
all just, but
Raw.
it
Yeah.
it was and
Wasn't diluted down by the spirits
it
whatsoever.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was daylight, it wasn't night, and I mean it was beautiful outside yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those things when you finally get it, when you finally put all the pieces together and something hits you in the back of the head and goes, "Oh,
Shit, that was it.
that was it.
That's the part. That's the
This
part
is
I
it.
didn't understand when it was happening. Now
This
I
was,
do.
yes,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is where all of this come together and this is what caused this and this was what was going on when this was happening and this is what happened in the future and then when you're looking back on it and you're doing all this stuff and then now you're looking at the present and it's like,
Mm. Oh my
ooh,
goodness.
there it
There
is.
is a there's a mental picture that I had of something like that. It's like you have all these. Okay, everybody knows what a puzzle is.
Mhm,
Okay, you shake the box. Okay, when that happens, when that enlightenment happens,
mhm, mhm.
it's like you opened up the box and dumped it out on the table and looked at it, and it was put together.
Yes,
All the boom,
exactly,
suddenly,
exactly.
it does. Yes,
Here we go.
find you
Sometimes we get stuck in the, whoa, look,
precipice.
thank you. I've had 2 of these tonight.
Sometimes we get stuck on the precipice of a decision. Anxiety, dread,
Mhm.
stinking thinking locks us up, and we don't want to see a way out. Talking to others and therapy can give us the motivation to move forward. Exactly. The
That
motivation
is
is the internalization of what we've just realized, what we've come to realize in ourselves.
mhm,
Communicating with someone else, and you say, "Okay, I can look at this. I can look at this now as something approachable.
right,
When without it, you can't."
right. We don't have replays, Marco. Sorry about your luck. You'll
Mm,
have to wait till the show's after and listen to the whole thing again.
yes.
Well,
Shake the box with or without the
that's
cat.
right. That's
Heisenberg.
right.
Heisenberg. The things he did to that poor cat.
This is true.
Uh,
This is true.
uh,
Yes, I'm a smoker, I'm a toker, I'm a midnight. What is it? What is that song?
I'm a
I'm a
smoker.
joker, I'm a
I'm a
toker,
toker. I'm a midnight
midnight toker. I'm
smoker.
a
I'm
joker,
a
I'm a
toker.
smoker, I'm a midnight
Midnight toker. Trying to get my music. Oh, anyway, yeah.
yeah, whatever. But anyways, yes. So
Yeah, we're we're working on it. We're gonna get her. We'll get her off the cigarettes one of these days. It took me nearly 50 years.
yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so back to the pieces of the puzzle thing, and I honestly, there is a song, and I like hard rock. I like all that good stuff. But it's called "Alone in a Room" by Asking Alexandria.
A lemon in a room.
Alone in
Alone in
a
a room.
room.
Okay. I'm
You
sorry.
old shit, get your hearing aid out. Sorry, had to do that. But anyway, I'll see if I can find it in here. And
That would be goody. I see.
that's the album cover.
Okay.
Asking Alexandria.
Okay.
And the song's called Alone in a Room.
Okay.
And I've heard it I've listened to it for a while, but then it was like, holy shit.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Uh-huh.
And it
because
kind of happened twice. Kind of happened twice.
Two different songs?
2 different times, actually.
Okay.
Except one time I wasn't sitting alone in a room. It just all kind of crashed down on me at one freaking time.
Yeah.
And then the next time, I actually got to sitting alone in a room for several years. So, and then that's when it was like, oh, okay, here it is. And sometimes you just got to have that. It's like you learn to. Marco, you're so funny. I was not going to show a text you sent. Because you don't send me texts. You don't send me flowers anymore either. So just saying. But this is what happens. It goes back to the gut thing.
Yes.
You go, and oh my gosh, I can't tell you how old I was, but just naive from hell. You could have told me the sky was purple, and I was like, you know what? He probably does see the sky as purple, and that's okay. I don't care. That's what makes him happy. If he wants to tell me the sky's purple and he thinks I believe it, I'm good with it.
Yep.
You could have told me anything and I would just believe it, simply because I don't think people, in my stupid head, I don't think people will lie to you just right off. I just never dealt with that growing up most of my life. People, if they told you something, it was true. But then, it was just, and I guess basically it's not really somebody telling you the truth. It's what they don't tell you.
Well, that's the second way to lie.
Right.
It's to tell you the truth. There are 3 ways to lie. There's the straight up lie, straight up bold-faced lie. The second way is to tell you the truth, but don't tell you the whole story. The third way to lie is to tell you the absolute truth in such an unconvincing fashion that you think it's a lie.
Right.
Yes.
Because, the truth usually is, a lie is usually better than the truth anyway. So, but yeah, that was the thing. And of course, what I was kind of used to.
It's easy to sweeten up a lie.
Oh, yeah.
It's harder to sweeten up the truth.
Yeah. And what I was kind of used to was not getting anything, not being told anything. And then there came the lie. And then came the what is it? I don't even
Revelation
know how to put
or the rest of the story.
How come you don't believe me?
Yes.
Yeah. It was one of them. So it was kind of like, I'm not going to tell you anything, because if I don't tell you, then I'm not lying to you. And then it's like, when you ask me about it, I'm not really going to answer your questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then I'm going to wonder why you're not believing what I'm saying. So it's kind of one of those things. But it's like you just I blow stuff off like that. I mean, and it was just ridiculous. The in my face. I mean, you could have took a pie and slapped it in my face, and I've been, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's just what happens in life. You just brush it off
Ooh.
and deal with it.
Well, remember the little exercise I was telling you
Yeah.
about speaking to your younger self?
Yes.
Okay. That's where we were.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
naive and accepting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the me that I look back on as a kid and try to talk to didn't know any better.
Right.
He was entirely accepting of what was happening because that was the way it was. There was no better, there was no worse. That was just it.
Right.
So you can't you don't have the experience to look at it any other way other than to just go through it. And that's, thankfully, we grow beyond that.
Yes.
And sometimes we even start to understand.
We understand where we came from and what made us here, but we don't understand what's going to happen going forward.
At things that happen, and one of the things that I was telling you about was I was looking back at something that happened to me 20 years ago. And I said, all of a sudden, holy shit.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a random lightning bolt out of the sky.
Right.
Somebody set that up.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and you do. And it's amazing when that happens, and then you're like, why didn't I see this before?
Yep.
There you go. Ging's got a good question for you.
What is the evil demon thought experiment? Descartes' evil demon is the main role of a thought experiment aimed to find out whether I lost it. It went away. Find out whether.
Sorry about that.
Whether the indubitable truth does exist. I'm really not familiar with that aspect of Descartes. So, let's see. According to the thought experiment, he supposes that no God exists, but an evil demon who deceives us about everything. Gosh, there are a couple of religions that are set up on that basis.
All of them.
Well, if heaven exists, there must be a hell. And sometimes, this place seems like it. But also, as I said earlier today, a lot of the judgmental things that we say about the here and now are ourselves. We're projecting that on the world. Okay. If the only thing we're looking at or looking for are bad things and evil things that happen in the world, God knows there are enough. Okay. All over the world, but they're not right here, right now.
Right.
Here, we are a group of people who are trying to help each other. One little bit of knowledge or ignorance or whatever but we're sharing it, and we can do that. We can do that now. We can do that now in a way that we were never able to do before. And everyone, it's all your story. It's my story, it's Maria's story, it's your story, and we will. There are bits of learn, and there's no one here trying to deceive you. I'm pretty well guarantee that.
And everybody has their own trauma that they deal with. Sure. I mean, and what you call trauma, I would not.
The Survivors Circle is sitting around the campfire sharing what worked for us. That's it. It's no more complicated than that.
Here's a question.
Bubbles. Bubbles, can you make a good tuna fish sandwich?
Oh, and no, Bobby. Sorry.
Thank you, Gaines.
Russ is still playing the new daddy role.
Mm-hmm.
Tuna fish sandwich.
I haven't had a tuna fish and mayo sandwich for a long time. I'm gonna have to fix one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have one.
I'm sure we got a can of tuna fish around here somewhere.
Everybody has a can of tuna fish.
Isn't that like basic survival?
Yeah. Don't know how long it's been there, but you've got it.
That's why they didn't put dates on those things. They just code numbers.
That and spam.
I'm going to.
That does sound good.
I think once you open that can, I don't know. I've never opened a can and had it bad, and I've never had any make me sick.
No, sir, Bobby.
I have a feeling like it's like chicken. You know when it's bad. You're gonna know when it's bad. Believe me, you're gonna know when it's bad.
It's important to me. Damn it. No, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
It's like when she makes you a sandwich, she's still mad at you, and on the other side of the bread, it's got "fuck you" written on the mustard.
Well, I'm a total weirdo. I like mayo on one side and ketchup on the other. So.
Ugh.
Yeah, see, told you.
We just can't be friends now.
Peanut butter and bananas, or whatever.
Oh no, I can do.
What Elvis liked? His favorite.
I can do peanut butter and bananas, and I can do.
Peanut. I've never actually tried peanut butter and bananas, but I think it would work if you put chocolate syrup on the one side.
Okay, so I have to have chocolate milk with my peanut butter and bananas.
Oh.
It's really good. Okay, gangs, let's see. I like refried beans. That's why I want to try refried beans, because maybe they're just as good and we're just wasting time. You don't want to fry them again after all. Woo! And that's our group. Yes.
I haven't had. My grandmother used to do those, and they were good. And I haven't
Stop
done
it, Andy.
I have not had those in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, gosh, the point is, the only way to do those is with pinto beans. And anytime we have pinto beans and cornbread, there aren't any leftovers.
You're right. They're not. You got spam from Ron there.
We're obviously just not making a big enough pot.
No, you're not.
Oh, my.
Okay, the only way you're going to have mayo and ketchup on a sandwich is if it's a hamburger. You're not going to do that to ham sandwich. or a bologna sandwich. It's against state law. You just can't have it. In Kentucky, it's bologna, onion,
Oh, fried bologna.
homegrown tomato, and mayo. That's the stuff that heaven's made out of. Just saying. But it's all because of that homegrown tomato.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Can't have that store-bought crap.
Oh my
that
God.
work.
That GMO stuff, that GMO processed, that's gonna look good in the store until the point where it's ready to be tossed in the trash.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. They don't taste like real tomatoes.
There you go. This is so true. Rice is great if you're really hungry and want to eat 2,000 of something. Yay. It's good.
That is the most Rain Man thing I've ever heard.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. Oh, God, Doofy. What? You're disgusting.
Roofie. Oofy's been out in the fucking asteroid belt too long. Come back and have some cuisine.
And now I've seen some people have sardine and mustard sandwiches.
I've eaten sardines, but I've never.
Why would you? Why? Yep. Thank you, Justin.
I ran out of water.
Oh, but anyways, yeah.
And my coffee cup's empty. It's empty, damn it.
I still got a little left.
Ooh. See,
that's why mine's in a pint glass and yours is in an 8-ounce cup. I prepare ahead.
Usually I have my pint and a half of water here.
I prepared ahead.
I was waylaid on my way to setting up StreamYard and
that's true.
All that good stuff. And we got it going, but
there's no we to it, darling. It was all you.
The editorial we.
Okay.
Not the I'm telling you, I got it going, but
You did.
I had to make sacrifices.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you did very well. You did very well.
Pickle ice cream.
So you talked a little bit about spring when we first started, and then we just kind of
that was the hidden plan all along.
Part of it. Okay, I totally understand that.
Yes,
usually works. We got to hook them in.
Yes, the distraction, and then the presentation. Yeah,
that's kind of like the mainstream media. They put up a bullshit headline, and then you come in, and it's a whole different story. We're good at that. We could be MSN.
we always maybe we didn't. We learned that.
We always do that
subconsciously.
We did.
Oh my God,
we did.
Now we start the conversation over here, and then go around and around a couple times, and then end up right where we needed to be to finish.
We're talking about food now. Yeah.
It's a plan.
Didn't we always do this to AJ when she was on?
We absolutely did.
Start talking about food halfway in.
Oh, God.
Shit's coming back to haunt us. Just saying. Pickle ice cream. What is wrong with you people? Okay. So now I've got a question for everybody.
Yes.
When you make your deviled eggs or your tuna fish, this could go either way, your tuna fish salad, do you use sweet pickles or dill pickles?
I hear the peepers.
It was a cat. Or what are you hearing over there, Charles? I don't know.
I
What did
don't
you
know.
have in that coffee?
It's not here. That's ridiculous.
Balls from space. Okay, so apparently this is the drink word of the night. It's your fault, Yuffie. Okay, so Marco put sweet. Okay, is that in deviled eggs and tuna fish? If he does sweet, you're not allowed to put in tuna fish. You don't put sweet relish pickles.
Sweet.
Oh. Not in your tuna fish. That goes in the deviled eggs. See you, Justin. Love you. No. And mustard. It has sweet relish, mustard, and mayo in it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Tuna fish has dill pickles in it, or dill relish, whatever you want to put in it. Celery.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, I learned a new secret ingredient that I'm going to try in my next pot of chili.
Ooh, what?
Cocoa.
Ooh. Oh, that takes that twang out of the tomato.
Yeah, I used to use bay leaf to kind of do that, to kind of take the bite out of the tomato.
I don't care, Marco. We can't be friends anymore. You put sweet relish in your
I'm definitely gonna. I heard that and said, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I like that. I'll try that.
We something I've always put sugar in my spaghetti sauce to take that twang out of it, and also I put a lot of thyme in it. Thyme, not time. But anyways, yeah, I put
how many hours?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. That sounds good, Charles. Pasta salad, that's good.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think what I'm going to have for supper. So
I had a really nice piece of steak last night.
That's what she said.
That just absolutely hit the spot.
What kind of steak? Like ribeye or?
It was. I don't think it was a fillet, but it was like that. It was nice thick cube, not quite a cube of steak. It was really, really good.
Okay, so now I have to explain. That is the only thing I put sugar in, and that's to take that tomato twang out of it. That's it. My ex-mother-in-law used to put sugar in everything. Green beans.
I've never
corn.
Let's see. I guess my
beans.
My spaghetti sauces, I've never added sugar in.
It's just a tiny bit, just enough to cut that out.
I use a lot of bay leaf and a lot of oregano.
Try it with thyme next time instead of the oregano.
Okay.
Just get you a little off to the side. I've got a recipe that and it has nothing in it but that and several other ingredients, but no oregano and no basil and nothing like that. And it's different. It's pretty good. But yeah, she put sugar in cabbage, boiled cabbage. I mean, but it wasn't real sugar. It was sweet and low because she was a diabetic.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyway.
Okay. See,
but they did that. I think they did that to get the kids to eat. If it was sweet, I think that was one of those old things, maybe. And she never quit doing it. But I'm gonna tell you something. When she made vegetable soup, if there was a can that was in her pantry, it was in that pot. If it was beanie weenies, if it was um, SpaghettiOs, and she put all the vegetables she had left and then whatever else and put in there, and she called that vegetable soup, and
Oh yeah.
whatever. I mean,
The vegetables, the best vegetable soups are like the stone soup.
mhm,
You just take a little bit of everything, whatever's
mhm.
basically anything that's left over in the fridge, and it goes in. You know, when
You
you have
don't
the,
put sugar on possum, you fry possum. What
I
are you
thought,
thinking?
I thought you nailed the possum to a board and then cooked it over an open fire, and then threw away the possum and ate the board.
Made the board good and tender and flavorful.
Oh my!
What is it?
I've
Should
eaten,
y'all be
I've
oh,
eaten,
look at
I have
Bobby. Look at this crap
I have
Bobby puts
eaten
on here.
ground. I have eaten groundhog, and it's not bad if it's prepared correctly. But I have never eaten possum.
Hmm. No, I've not that I know of. Now, my grandmother cooked whatever was killed and brought to her.
Uh-huh. Oh, oh,
So,
then you must be an aficionado of squirrel.
oh, I love fried squirrel.
Oh,
And I love fried
God.
rabbit, and I've not had any of it for years.
I know.
Now, I will not have frog legs. I will not eat frog legs. Can't do it. No.
I would one of these days. I'd like to go to one of those restaurants that have. Oh, that brings another thing that I absolutely love. It's just totally unavailable. Buffalo,
Mhm.
and excruciatingly expensive these days.
Mhm.
But I had some of that, and I'd never had it before. And I ate that, and I thought, "Oh my god, this is what it's supposed." And I said, "This is what it's supposed to taste like." You know, it was just so good.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, we ate those for 15, 20,000
Oh,
years.
yeah. Yeah.
It's built into the genes.
That's what you eat.
Yeah.
And that's like what Gaines is talking about. Fried quail, pickled quail eggs, and I'll tell you something else that I had, and I don't have the patience for it, but one of my girlfriends does. She will harvest the quail eggs, and she will make deviled eggs out of them, and they are the best
Oh my God.
deviled eggs you
I
have
can imagine.
ever put in your mouth.
Well, I found this out not too long ago. I got some farm eggs. Okay.
Mhm.
Chickens on the ground, farm eggs.
Real farmers' eggs
Yes.
from
As
chickens,
compared
yes.
as compared to what you pick up off the shelf at freaking Walmart or something. Okay. And I opened that and I fried that first egg and I took a bite and I said, "Oh my God, I forgot how good eggs can taste."
Yeah.
Because this is the way when I was a kid, those were
Mhm.
eggs.
That's how they
That was what
tasted,
the
yep.
eggs tasted like.
Mhm.
And that was it was a revelation. That was a revelation as to just how fucking bad the food that we're eating now is
Exactly.
as compared to what even
Mhm.
30, 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, every time I go to my son's house now, they have decided when they got married, they put out a garden, and then they were like, "Okay, this is gonna work. We're gonna get chickens." So they've got chickens.
Mhm.
And so mama gets 2 or 3 dozen eggs sent home every time, and
Mm.
they're good. It's
Yes. Yes.
And the thing about it is around here, for some reason, people think they need to sell these eggs for $2, $3 a carton. I'm sorry, it's not my fault you're having to feed your chickens. You can't recoup your chicken feed. It's like, sell them. I mean, I'm not gonna pay $3 a carton for a dozen eggs, even though they're farm
I
fresh
thought
eggs,
I
if
thought
I can go
I
to the
thought the last
groceries.
time I thought eggs were at like $1.79 a dozen the last time I bought a dozen at Walmart.
Well, I think around here you can get like 3 dozen for maybe $4. You buy
Okay.
it in bulk.
Yeah.
So if I can buy 36 eggs for a little over $3
Yeah.
compared to the $3 a dozen of farm eggs,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. And
3 to 1.
if you want to get rid of the eggs, sell them for $1 a dozen. You'll sell a shit ton of them. I mean, I love scrambled eggs or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, not together.
Oh my God.
Not together. But
What did I have? And I had I did a breakfast sandwich just the other day. Just plain old eggs, eggs and sausage and cheese.
Yeah.
English,
that's the best.
in an English muffin. Okay.
Yeah, you just fucked it up right there.
This is the real. This is, well, I know, but I wasn't ready to make biscuits that day. But and you take a bite of that, and you say, oh, gosh, back when McDonald's first started doing breakfast, this is basically what it tasted like.
Right.
Now it doesn't taste anything like that.
The only thing you taste is that salt.
Yeah. Now, so I will go the extra 20 minutes of effort to have something that really tastes good to me.
Exactly. Yes, you will.
It's worth it.
Right.
That's why there's so many people now that don't cook. I was cooking when I was like, I'm pretty sure I was cooking before I was going to school, because I can remember having to tiptoe to see what was in the skillet as I was cooking.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I used to cook all the time, and I don't have any reason to cook anymore. I don't want to cook for just.
It's hard to cook for one. It's hard to.
Sometimes I'll.
It's hard to get the motivation to cook for one person.
Yeah.
But you're worth it. See, you deserve that. You deserve the best. You deserve the best.
Here we go. Yes, I do, and damn it, and somebody needs to give it to me because I'm not giving it to myself.
Sometimes we just have to do it ourselves,
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes, okay. So if I do cook, I cook enough to where it's 3 meals, the one I'm eating, and then 2 more, because it's hard.
Oh,
breakfast, 2 scrambled eggs. Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I eat 4 scrambled eggs at a time.
It's as easy effort wise to cook for 3 as it is for 1.
Yeah. So I'll cook for at least 3 meals.
Yes. Yep, no problem. I understand absolutely.
But see, I'm such a hog when I eat. It's like when I cook, I have at least 4 scrambled eggs, and I've got 2 pieces of sausage and biscuits and gravy. And do what?
So what do you eat once a week?
No, I eat a lot. I'm a hog. I can put some food down.
One of those what are they called? Exothermal person. Yeah. Anyway, so you can eat anything, but you just shake it right off and
just don't put sweet relish in my tuna fish, and we're good.
Isn't that a hidden poison? I think that's what Putin's been hiding from. Somebody's going to slip him some tuna fish with pickles.
I don't cook. And it's awful. Now, there are times I come in and I've been starving, and I'll do fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, biscuits, gravy, whatever else I'm in the mood for. And then I'm looking at it going, God, I got to clean this crap up.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I'll do peanut butter and toast, or I'll do oatmeal. I'll do.
But look, even the simple stuff like that,
it
is so much better for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
out of the wrapper or out of the drive-through.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not going to unconvince me that it's not healthier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it tastes better. It's worth the effort.
Yep.
Or maybe the effort makes it taste better. Because when I was in my first single days, I ate a lot of really, really bad meals. I learned what everything burned and underdone tastes like.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I do.
Till I learned properly how to do it.
I do pretty good though. I mean, I'll do soups or stews or but to come in and cook every night when I get home from work,
no, sorry.
I mean, grilled cheese sandwiches are great. And it doesn't take any time to do scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Toast, whatever. So, but to cook a whole big meal,
no,
I'm not going to do that unless it's on the weekend or something, and I've got time to part it out into different little containers so I can have it. But because I wouldn't have had time to cook tonight. Marco sure as hell didn't have his ass here to fix my supper for me. So, there we go.
Well, we think we got everybody hungry now. They can all go out and scrounge for a meal.
Yeah, I'll just finish drinking mine.
I'm thinking we're about done because I'm dry and hungry. Especially the hungry part now.
Yeah, definitely.
So, we've gone for an hour and 45 minutes.
Talking about foods, what happens?
This is not, we've covered just about everything today. And I'm really glad you were here to do it.
Thanks, me too.
And I'm glad you guys were here to listen to it.
Yeah, and y'all hung out this long.
And
you didn't do what Bobby said and took off to KGRA. Oh, God. Wait a minute. Right here. There you go.
So, again, we shared this is what the circle's about, a circle something.
Yeah.
But
it's usually what we call a circle jerk, but anyway.
It's sharing. It's being human with each other.
Ooh, eggs on a hamburger.
I have seen that. I've never done it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That is good. All right, Charles, stop. We got to go.
Okay. On to the kitchen. Good night, all. It's been wonderful having you. And everybody have a great, great evening. Bye-bye.